So the 53rd edition of the Zatopek 10 is underway. 25 laps. They trod in the footsteps of some of the greats. Ron Clark started all the way back in 1951, 52. And they continue it right here in 2013. From the inside out, Benjamin Ashkell from Doncaster, Deben Gabriselesi in 2. David McNeill, the 2008 champion, Steve Deneen. Liam Adams, he set a Commonwealth Games B standard in the marathon at the Melbourne Marathon earlier this year, looking to repeat that feat on the track. Nathan Hartigan, Duer, a World Cross Country representative on 2 occasions. James Connor in New South Wales, Nick Whiteman. Aaron Pulford visits again from New Zealand, looking to improve on his 12th place in 2012. Chris Hamer, of course, Sam Chalenga, the American, the NCAA 10,000 metre record holder, looking for his maiden title at the Zatopek 10 in his first appearance. Brandon Hargraves, Ridden Cowley, Anthony Alessio, Milosevic Tedesco, Ruddy, Collis, Birmingham we see at the front of the field. Harry Summers, Hugh Williams, Brady Threefall, and they're through the first lap of 25. The big guns are where you'd expect them to be. Ryan Geard at the front, Benson Laurence in behind him. Sam Chalenga in the 3rd place. And they're just starting to settle down here in the Zatopek 10 for 2013. The field strung right out. Comes to the Zatopek 10. It's a 61-minute half marathon in October earlier this year. It's a good form on the road, hasn't set foot on the track for a little while. 16 laps remaining, still Summers out in front. Chalenga, St Laurence, Birmingham. Adams, there's a little bit of experience in there. But not a lot of Zatopek titles. We've seen Birmingham take the title on 2 occasions. St Laurence is looking for his first. Adams is looking for his first podium. And Summers, well, he'd be looking to improve on a 6th place from a couple of years ago. So still Summers out in front. Chalenga, St Laurence, Birmingham. A gap has started to form there to Adams, and Susie, it looks like Sam Chalenga is really starting to stretch this field out. Even though he's in 2nd place, he's pegging back in Summers and started to put a little bit of hurt to Liam Adams and that group of athletes from 5th back through to 8th.
Yeah, it's given him a bit of an aim now to catch up to Harry and run off him for a little bit. Collis has actually moved past Ben. They've actually been together a bit with pacing a half marathon in Japan a few weeks ago. So they're coming back and working well together in this race.
It's quite an interesting preparation to go and pace a half marathon and then focus on your track training. I suppose when you're running those sorts of distances week in, week out, it always helps to break things up a little bit by doing things differently, but maybe not the most common sort of preparation for a 10K national title, going across to Japan and pacing a marathon.
Oh, but their half marathon pace would have been a bit easier than if they were racing it hard themselves, as they were just pacing the race. So they would have recovered okay in time to run this quite hard.
Well, speaking of running this quite hard, we saw them go through and looked around about the 11:10 mark at 4,000 metres with 15 laps remaining, which sets them right on that 27:50 mark, which is the A standard. So Chalenga's really starting to drag the field through. We're going to have to start to move through selection of some of these lapped runners. But Summers has now come back to the pack. Contact has been restored. What was a solo leader out front, it's now a group of 4. Harry Summers 6th. We've seen him come to Lakeside Stadiums. He's had a couple of good performances and a couple that he might rather forget. Let's hope he can put his head down and continue to work his way through this 25-lap event. And they'll get 12 laps remaining when they start to make their way through some of the back markers of the field. Nathan Hartigan, Brady Threefall, Nick Whiteman in front of him. But it's Chalenga, Summers, Birmingham maybe starting to ask the questions of St Laurence. By his own admission, just started to struggle a little bit leading into the Moscow World Championships. A little bit of sickness, and he's looking to make amends on the back end of the year. So 12 laps remaining now, Susie. The pace looks like they're about that 27:50 schedule. Chalenga's looking rock solid at the front of the field. Birmingham locked in. Summers there. That gap, it's just starting to stretch for Ben. He's got to hold on at this stage. He wants to be right there when the whips are cracking. But 12 laps remaining, and see the field's really spread right open, and it looks like it's going to be Chalenga and Birmingham just starting to stretch out now at the front of the field. And Summers maybe starting to pay the price for that early enthusiasm.
Yeah, they're starting to really wind it up now. So Collis is just biding his time, I think, just running along there, getting a bit of a ride. They're going to gradually keep winding it up now.
Well, I suppose we've got a little bit of this traffic now they've got to work through. Can sometimes get lost in there, but you mentioned earlier, it can be quite useful, particularly for these leaders that have seen a lot of open space in front of them. They've now got some targets they can pick off. They've got Gebrselassie in front of them, but then we've got that second chase bunch on the back straight. That'll help them a bit of motivation as they start to wind into this race. So we see our race leaders enter the home stretch. Second to last time, Samuel Chalenga now moves his way up to the shoulder of Collis Birmingham. So they have to start to work their way through the back markers. We're going to watch the clock, assess the time. 2 laps remaining. It's Chalenga that goes to the front in Birmingham and starts to stretch the legs there just a little bit more. And within meters, it's gone from 5 to 10 to 15, and Chalenga's really starting to stretch out now and applying the pace down the back straight now. The American, the NCAA record holder's really starting to race away with this one, Susie, and it's much what we saw with Chappell, an explosive burst, and he's put a big gap into this race. It's still not done with for Birmingham, but it's going to take some work to bring him back. Yeah,
I think Collis was actually prepared for that to happen at some stage, and he just couldn't go with him, but he'll still keep fighting on.
He's right there. Harry Summers back in third place. Still has a bit of a gap, but Chalenga working that home stretch. For the second and last time, the American NCAA record holder, rousing ovation as he moves up the home stretch. He'll collect the bell in the Zatopek of 2013. 1 lap remaining. We watch the clock, 26:43 at the bell. And they're right on 27.50 pace. Birmingham a little bit further back, 26.50. He'll just be outside 28 minutes. He'll be looking to wind it up from home, but Samuel Chalenga, he's starting to unwind. 300 metres to go in the Zatopek 10 for 2013. The NCAA record holder, personal best over the half marathon a couple of months. First time back on the track as we see Harry Summers go through to collect the bell. Chris Hamer, the Victorian, up into 4th place. Liam Adams holding on for 5th. As we travel with Chalenga, 200 metres from home, and it's the American, born in Nairobi, has trained through the collegiate system at Liberty. He'll work his way into the home stretch, and the American is going to lead them in. The last 100 metres of the Zatopek 10 for 2013. Samuel Chalenga, the last American to win was Galen Rupp in 2006. Emmanuel Bett went back-to-back in 2011 and 12. But in 2013, Samuel Chalenga will take out the Zatopek 10 title, 27:46.09. But we keep our applause for Collis Birmingham. He'll come down to the line to take out the national title, his 3rd, and with that time, he'll lock his berth in for Glasgow. As we see Harry Summers now make his way up the home stretch. For his best performance, Chris Hamer giving chase in 4th place. Previous best there for Summers was 6th. But he'll go into the top 3 and take the bronze. Hamer, 4th across the line, will round out the top 3 on the Australian Championship dais. Liam Adams, the Victorian, 5th place at the Zatopek to go with a Commonwealth Games qualifier, the B stand at the Melbourne Marathon. As we see David McNeill, the 2008 champion, work his way into the straight and will cross the line to round out the top 6.
Sammy, that was a fantastic run. You really blew it away with 700 metres to go.
Thank you. I'm really happy that I came to Australia for the first time, and I didn't know what to expect, but I thank you all fans who came to watch our race tonight. I'm looking forward to coming back again. My hope for this race is that it will set me up next season, and this race today wasn't so bad. It's just it wasn't like if we had a pacemaker that just took us to the first 5K, no problem. But I still think that it was a great race, and it's going to set us all for a good season next year.
Yeah, I guess my plan was to have a nice easy run in behind everyone until the race started in the final laps, and obviously it's a national title, it's a big event, and those sorts of things happen. And I probably went to the lead with 8 laps to go, I think, and realised that we were dropping the other Aussie boys, and thought that I'd test Sammy out, but he was obviously not tested too much. He flew the last couple of laps, but I was pretty happy for myself this time of year.